Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and 219. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ قُلِ الْعَفْوَ كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. In this ayah, there are two principles. One is they ask you about intoxicants and gambling. So there is a great sin in both of them and benefit for mankind. And the sin is greater from their benefit. This half ayat I read and explain that all the intoxicants and even easy money, there are two types of intoxicants are there in the world, from wine and from drugs. All this is in anything which intoxicates your mind is Allah says there is some benefit, advantage in it. And at the same time, there is ism. Ism means sin. So now Allah doesn't say it is forbidden or haram straight away. Why? Because it is used in medicines, in psychiatric treatments. The drugs are used in medical aids. So Allah says there is benefit for mankind, advantage in mankind. When Allah says there is advantage, He can't say haram. So they say the drink is haram and this is haram. No. It is when used for medical purposes, it is advantage for you. But if you're using for getting drunk, then it is sin. And I will show you next verse which says the sin is forbidden and haram. So in that indirect way, Allah made when you are using the drugs for spoiling your health and befog your mind, then it is forbidden, haram. I will show you. But if you're using for your advantage or your medicine, then it is permissible. So that is why Allah has not directly say to intoxicant that this is forbidden. Because of that, it is beneficial for mankind. So Allah has used the word that it is ismun kabir wa manafi'u linnas. Ismun kabir is a great sin and an advantage for mankind. So you can use all the intoxicant using wine or brandy, I don't know all the names. I've not used anyone. So I don't know much of them. You're living in here. So you can use them for medicine. On the food you do, light of brandy, cold. My mom used to keep brandy, in Pakistan. Due to the cold, she used to give me brandy, 1 spoon. So for medical purpose, it's all right. But now you don't start drinking the whole bottle. So this, we have to be very careful. So the other is money. Like for example, if I am gambling, you understand, gambling, though they say that easy money is haram. No. If you gamble and you are likely to lose money again and again, but suppose you take lottery or investment, stock action, I don't know, sorry. No. What I'm saying, gambling is something where as a whole, you will lose. No gambler has achieved, become a rich man because of gambling. No. If you use money for some, coincidentally, like you use it for buying a ticket, and then luckily you got money. Give me 20% and enjoy. So that is all right. So in that context, Allah says, because it's, I'm talking now, khamr, I've explained, now I'm talking maisar, the other thing. So what I'm saying is, if you take some people buy tickets, or yeah, lottery tickets, but you're not losing heavy amount of money. You're doing like khairat, giving $100 or $50. Maybe Allah gave you, and Allah gave you. You have to remember Mama Shaikh immediately with 20%. So what I'm saying, this is allowed. Investment or another price bond. These are easy money, but you can do that. But not gambling. Gambling is separate. There you are always a loser. So you get addicted and you think that this time I'll win. And the next time again you will lose. So that is not permissible. So this is the half portion of the verse. I go to the next verse and I come back again to explain to you one thing. Look in يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِسْمٌ كَبِيرٌ. These two things are ismun kabir, mean it's a great sin, wa manafi'u linnas, an advantage for mankind. So if you look in the Arabic, ismun kabir and manafi'u linnas, a great sin and an advantage for mankind, right? So now I'm just going the next page and you'll see what happens. Surah Araf 7 and ayah verse 33. قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ وَالْإِثْمَ وَالْبَغْيَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ وَأَن تُشْرِكُوا بِاللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يُنَزِّلْ بِهِ سُلْطَانًا وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And surely my Lord has forbidden the obscenity, what is obvious, visible from it, and what is hidden, and the ism, the sin, and the transgression without the truth. And you do not associate with Allah, for which He had not sent down, revealed any authority with it. And that you say on Allah what you do not know. Now why I'm reciting this verse, trying to explain to you that haram, forbidden, is fawahisha ma zahara mina wa ma batana wal ism. Now ism is forbidden, and there Allah say ismun kabir. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا اسْمٌ كَبِيرٌ. The khamr and maisir, in both of them is ismun kabir. And here Allah says, I'm making forbidden the ism. Fawahisha, Rabbil fawahisha, zina and fawahisha is also haram. And here what is obvious and what is hidden. But ism is also forbidden. So when you hear ism is forbidden, that means that the khamr al-maisir is, both of them is ismun kabir. So we have to know that if we are taking, using khamr al-maisir as ismun kabir, it will become forbidden, haram, unlawful. Because the further ayah says that this is ism, haram, forbidden. Ism is forbidden. Sin is forbidden. So if you are using this for loss or ism, then it is forbidden. But if you are using for your advantage, then it is manafi'ul linnas. You can do that. So remember, all the drugs, where you are made unconscious, the drug is given to you. Or when you are in pain, the drug is given to you. So these drugs doctor prescribe and they give it to you. It is permissible because it is an advantage for you. But not otherwise when it is used for ism or for sin. So it's like this, that if you take some drug, I'm in a stable mind, it will make me unstable. When there are people who are unstable, and if you give them drug, they become stable. You understand what I'm saying? For unstable people, they give psychiatric treatment, some medicine to make them stable. And for stable people, if you take drugs, you become unstable. So in that context, Allah says it is forbidden. And for advantage, you can use it. So now below the portion was وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ قُلِ الْعَفْوَ كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Now here people are asking that they ask you about what we should spend in the way of Allah. So there is a separate subject. I was referring to 20%, that is what, you don't have to spend your money in the way of Allah. There is a 20% out of your profit. You can share with the 8 categories. There's a separate subject. So, but here Allah says, forgive. Say forgive. Overlook. Qulil af. Meaning what you have to spend is 20% from your profit. And in 8 categories. There is a miskeen, yatim, and there is Allah and His Messenger, and the one who asks, and then whose neck is caught, is in debt, loan. So there are certain categories mentioned. You can share this money among these people. So now in the next verse that I was referring to, قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ وَالْإِثْمَ وَالْبَغْيَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. Now in this verse I was explaining to you the previous verse in relation with the previous verse, that Allah has made forbidden, my Lord has made forbidden, fawahish means obscenity, what is obvious from it and what is hidden from it. And the ithm is a great sin, a sin is also forbidden. And the wrong without truth. Now another thing is, وَأَن تُشْرِكُوا بِاللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يُنَزِّلْ بِهِ سُلْطَانًا. And you associate with Allah what Allah has not sent down any authority. In this is also forbidden. That you are associating with the ayahs of Allah something which Allah has not sent down any authority. Or وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And you say upon Allah, this is what Allah says, and you said your own words, and this is forbidden. It's haram. Nobody thinks about this. Eating of the pork is haram, or the halal meat is haram or haram. What about this? وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. You say upon Allah which it's not mentioned in the Quran. And you say it's in the Quran. This is what Allah says. Your own conjectures, you say this is what Quran says. It is like haram, forbidden, unlawful. You are not supposed to say what Allah has not sent down any authority. You are not supposed, but we people say, oh man, you go and read it somewhere, you'll find out what I'm saying. You read it. It's not there in the book, but they say that you read it and find out. So what I'm saying, it is very, very sensitive thing, that 2 things. One, tushriku billahi ma lam yunazzil bihi sultana. And you associate with Allah for which He did not send or reveal any authority with it. That this is what Allah says, and now you're mixing something and saying, I'm associating with Allah, and this is how you comprehend. Then secondly, Allah says, وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And you say upon Allah, which Allah is not, which you don't know. And people say in their own words, Allah says this and Allah says that. Where? Which ayat? Whenever anybody says about God, about messenger or anything about Islam, and he refers to hadith maybe, but that's not Islam. Hadith is a compilation of the environment that was going around at that time. The guidance is the Quran. Quran is the guidance for your life. And the hadith is basically what happened at that time. So, but the Quran is the guidance. So we have to take guidance. The Quran is the eternal book. It doesn't change. You have to take guidance from this book. But if you go to tradition and hadith, what you get? Nothing. Believe me. It is educating you what was the situation at that time. And that situation is never fixed in that time. It is continuously same going on. The crime is committed, everything is again, these ayahs that I'm reading, you can understand that it is applicable right now for me. I don't have to go into time and understand what Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did and what Ashabas did and what that guy did and what not. I know what I have to do from here, and I follow. Then I'm accountable on the day of judgment. I'm not going to accountable to these guys. So what has happened that people started thinking that Quran we know, what we know. We don't know anything about Quran. We only know what traditions are being promoted. And then the Ashabas, after Ashabas, there were other people, then there are other people. We are talking about other people now. That guy was this and that guy was wrong, that guy was... That's not the way you have to guide your life.